Okay, good morning. Welcome to
FunMath number 29.
FunMath number 29. Today we're doing a really cool problem. This was a new chapter in Art of Problem Solving's Intro to Number Theory book, and it's about counting the number of divisors of a number. And this is actually one of my favorite things in number theory. I remember learning this as a kid and thinking this was so cool. Okay. So, do you think you can walk through how to do this?
Yeah.
Having just learned it? Okay. Find the number of divisors of 504. Go ahead.
So first we need to factor 504.
First we need to factor 504. Okay. How can we factor 504?
We could do our factor tree.
We could do our factor tree. Okay.
But I can say it's divisible by 9.
Alright, how did you know it was divisible by 9?
From the divisibility by 9 rule, the sum of the digits is divisible by 9.
Okay, the sum of the digits is divisible by 9. And what is it 9 times? Do you know? Can you tell?
No.
Alright, go ahead and divide it then.
I go for 9 goes into 55 times, 45, 54. That's 9 times 56.
Right, 9 times 56. Great. Okay. Go ahead.
This is 9 times 56, but 9 is 3 squared, and 56 is 7 times 8, so it's 2 cubed times 3 squared times 7.
Okay, very good. So it turns out that 504 is 2 cubed times 3 squared times 7. Alright, so how do we, what's the observation that we have to make here to figure out the number of factors of 504?
Well, the 504, the divisors will have 2 to some power times 3 to some power times 7 to some power.
Okay. So, because 504 is 2 cubed times 3 squared times 7, any divisor of 504 is going to be 2 to the x times 3 to the y times 7 to the z, where x is between what and what?
X is between 0 and 3.
X is between 0 and 3. The highest power of 3 possible is 3. Sorry, the highest power of 2 possible is 3, And the lowest is 2 to the 0, which is just 1. Okay. What are the possible choices for 3 to the y? What are the possible choices of y?
It's between 0 and 2.
It's between 0 and 2, and what about z?
0 and 1.
0 and 1. If I'm going to have a factor of 504, it's either going to have a 7 to the 0 or a 7 to the 1. So I have how many choices for powers of 2?
4.
Okay, write that. 4 choices for the power of 2. How many choices for the power of 3?
3 choices. And 2 choices for the power of 7.
Okay. So I'm looking for numbers in the form 2 to the x times 3 to the y times 7 to the z, where I have 4 choices for what x can be, 3 choices for what y can be, and 2 choices for what z can be. So, how many total choices do I have?
24.
How did you figure that out?
It's 4 times 3 times 2.
Okay, go ahead, write that down. Actually step away from the board a little bit. This way. There we go.
This is
24. So there are 24 numbers that divide into 504. What's the smallest positive number that divides into 504?
1.
1. What's the biggest one?
504.
504. And then there's 22 in between. I guess 2 is one of them, right?
Yeah.
And 3.
Yep. 9's also one of them.
9's also one of them. Yeah, so we got a lot of choices. Okay, good job. That's a really neat problem. It's a really neat example of how you can use factoring into primes to solve what seems to be a very complicated problem, figuring out all the numbers that divide into 504. And if we tried to list out all 24 of them, that might take some time. But we know there's 24 of them. Okay, good job, sweetie. Good job.